okay. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So we managed to sneak one of these out. So this is the 1080 Ti Kingpin edition. So pretty excited about this card. It is going to be the highest end offering from EVGA. Kind of like teased it here and there, but there's a lot of differences here. I mean, the biggest, me personally, I really like the power connectors at the lower edge of the board here. I think it looks really nice. But you've got the full hands-on. He even got to meet Kingpin, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we did an interview with Kingpin and 10, so that'll be on our channel. We did a teardown as well of the card already. I don't think this is the one we tore down because it's...
That's not the one.
Because it's actually still in one piece.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We'll be the coverage talks about it pretty well, but basically the main thing we were looking at was the cooling solution. We talk a little bit about the power design and things like that. That's more of something we save for Kingpin and 10 since they know that in and out, obviously.
That's their specialty.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff with like, for example, the cooling solution where you've got the stacked heat pipes instead of just adjacent.
Yep.
So that's kind of new. And we were talking about how that just helps you sink more heat in a smaller area more quickly since the GPU die itself is kind of a small target in terms of contact area. And then I don't think you've given us an MSRP, and I don't think you will.
Haven't finalized that yet.
Have not.
But I mean, if you think about it, the FTW3 is what, 779-ish, and then so that will be the highest end offering. So.
Right.
Yeah.
What's chat saying?
So
all
that
copper.
looks all copper, or is it just the light?
So, Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've learned here today, I believe the heatsink itself is like copper plated or something.
Copper plated, yeah.
Yeah, so it's copper plated, and we'll talk about kind of the impact of temperatures in our content because I already spoke with one of your engineers about that and the difference. It's more of a looks thing, as I understand it, but shouldn't really impact performance too much either way. The cold plate is copper, as you'd expect. The heat pipes are copper. Mostly it's just, I guess, like really heavy because of all the copper everything.
Yeah.
So, oh, this is really cool. So we talk about this. We talk about this a lot in our interview with Kingpin because I wasn't too sure the significance of it before we spoke to him. But the PCB is actually gold plated. So I heard two different takes on this depending on who I spoke to. I guess that exposes the ground to the edge of the PCB, and it also helps with thermals. So it's supposed to be a couple degree reduction in temperatures, and on Pascal, that's like your most important metric.
Right.
It's just thermals.
Yep.
So that should help with.
Well, thermals decide everything from your GPU, from your GPU frequency to your fans, how fast they're spinning, obviously.
Right.
So.
Yeah, 3-fan setup on this. It's using ICX, right? Doesn't it have the ICX sensors on it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It has the 9 ICX sensors.
Right. Are they in the same spot as on FTW3? Do you know?
That's a good question.
I didn't ask that earlier.
Yeah, that I need to double check. I want to say it's the same, but it might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
There are some PCB. I mean, you took it apart, so
Right.
Some of the things on the PCB are a little bit different. So.
Yeah, well, you couldn't take like an FTW3 cooler and stick it on here.
Yeah.
It wouldn't line up.
Actually, there was one. I don't know if Vince mentioned it to you, but there's actually one key fact about the FTW3 is that there was actually like when he's doing liquid nitrogen cooling, there's like the component layout is very important. It allows him to mount his containers to the card, and on the FTW3 there was like a component that prevented him from mounting the container on the card. So
he fixed it.
Yeah, he had to change that.
Right. Well, the base plate is separable, which I think it was on the previous model as well. Like the base plate, you can basically, if you're using LN2, you can take.
Oh yeah, that one's actually new for Kingpin.
Okay.
The FTW3 was one whole base plate. Mm-hmm. On the Kingpin card, he specifically did that so he can put a container on here and still have cooling on that.
Right.
On the.
Yeah, you put your LN2 pod on the GPU and keep your base plate on the VRM. He
still have it on here.
He was telling me that was pretty important for the VRM cooling the base plate. What's chat saying? Anything? Any questions from anyone?
He said, I already have two 1080 FEs, but I still want that card. If I had two 1080 FEs, I would still want this card as well.
Looks like a lot of copper. Yes, it is.
Glad I stayed up instead of sleeping before. Yeah, so in my normal time, I should be asleep right now. You as well. Well, no, you don't really sleep.
No. Media doesn't have time for that.
So it's 2:30 a.m. right now in our normal time zone. So, yeah. So thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. He's going to have a full write-up about everything, including disassembly, or video as well.
Yeah, we've got all the power components. So I have all that information on the FETs, on the doublers, on the driver ICs, all that. So we'll include that in the write-up. And tear down. There's at least 2 content pieces on this card, I think, not counting the articles. So we should be pretty good to go. We had some other stuff we talked about today too at the event. So just stay tuned. I guess I'll go ahead and plug youtube.com/GamersNexus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for showing it off.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thanks for coming on our stream and talking with us for a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks a lot.
It's making me nervous.
What? The card. Oh yeah. Alright guys, I think I got another special guest coming up in just a second here. Oh, somebody left a Hershey's chocolate. Yes, 1080 Ti Kingpin. Miss Steve, well we have the, I think we're on YouTube, you should be able to, well at least it'll go live when we're done here, all 4 hours of our stream. Random chocolate, yes. So you check your power consumption of this card in real time. With the right equipment, sure. Alright, I got another guest coming up. Let me go find him. I'll be right back, guys. Ready, Jay? Alright. I know what we're going to do, but you know, I like winning. Yeah, that's how I do. You're driving. I'm the best at this. Wings. You're driving. Best at wings. You have a hot dog? Yeah, hot dog.
What do you got?
He knows all about the hot dog. Alright, guys, I'm back again with another special guest.
What up?
It is Jay. Everybody knows Jay, right?
Where?
Oh my God. It's an imposter. You're here. This is actually your first time in Taiwan.
This is my first time out of the country.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I know. I don't travel much. I don't get around
So your
much.
first time out of the country, and you went to like the farthest place that you could possibly.
But where else would you want to go? Like, if you really want to get out of the country,
Yeah.
you got to go far.
That's right. This is about as far out of the country as at least the United States that you get. So I'm just gonna align my mic a bit.
Steve and Jay, it's Christmas.
Yes.
It's Christmas.
So
Wendell was here earlier.
Yeah, so we had all the top press guys here at our office showing off some of the new stuff, and that we have at Computex. Some of it's under embargo, but I managed to sneak this one out because I'm really excited about this card. And this is the 1080 Ti Kingpin. We talked a little bit about Steve. With Steve, you guys are going to have content of it.
Yeah,
on your
I
channel.
just shot a video with Vince, kind of Q&Ing with him about the card. Why does it exist? What's different about it? Because I think there's a lot of misconception about what the Kingpin card really is. It's not just a farther overclocked card out of the box. There's a lot of design changes, even from the For the Win, because it looks like a black For the Win, like an Elite, right?
Kind of, yeah.
But
Similar.
there's a lot of differences in that card.
Why didn't you bring barnacle keys instead?
Because I'm not his keeper. Paul and Kyle were here. They were here earlier.
Yes, they were here. I'm telling you, we had all the top YouTubers here. Pretty exciting stuff. So you have, so your video will be up probably later this week?
I'm gonna edit that probably tonight.
Okay.
All right. So by the time it's like Monday in the States, it will probably already be up.
So make sure to follow youtube.com/JayZTwoCents, JayZ.
It's with a Z. You get an S, you might get someone else
And then
entirely.
a 2, like a number 2.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Oh,
TWO. See, you don't even know?
Geez,
What is this?
That's I have it. It's my favorite, so I don't have to think about it.
It's so you've got it hotly. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my homepage.
You're redeemed.
It's my homepage.
There you go.
JayZTwoCents is the channel, CENTS. But you guys probably already sub.
Jay, you gave away that 1080? Yes, we did.
One lucky winner won it.
Yeah, the For the Win
It
3.
was a For the Win 3.
That was for launch, a little launch party there, kind of.
Yeah. So what'd you think of so we showed we had to give them all the press tour of like the liquid nitrogen. Have you ever seen anything like that in person?
Okay, so I have seen a closed loop liquid nitrogen system before, but not to that scale.
Okay.
When I was at CES this year, and I went to the overclocking championship that Gigabyte was actually hosting with the new Intel stuff for the 7700, there was a guy there that had a homemade one that he did. And he actually made a box out of like, it almost kind of looks like a Tupperware bin, but it's designed to where he can actually control the temperature in it, like just set a dial and it will self-adjust, which was pretty neat. I did a video about that, so if you guys are curious about that, go to my channel, look up the CES stuff, and you'll see the interview I did with him. But that's like a massive scale. Like he's actually recollecting unused LN2.
Yeah, I don't think, we've never really, like any of our videos or anything, never really shown that like to anybody. So I think it's pretty cool for people to see what Vince does every day for
Right.
14 hours a day.
Right there, please check the consumption of your card, power consumption in real time. You can do that with the Kingpin card. Yeah, you can do that with the voltage monitoring. I am slurring my words. I'm still a little jet lagged, guys. Give me a break. Yeah, so you have monitoring probes on here that you can monitor all kinds of things with this card, and the EV bot that plugs in on the back, giving you like greater visibility of what's happening with the card. So, again, a lot of things go into this card that just I think are overlooked a lot of times by the general public.
And yes, it has ICX tech, somebody mentioned. Of course.
I think pretty much every top tier card is going to have it moving forward. Like I don't think the 1060 does it?
We do have a couple of SKUs that will be coming out that have ICX.
Well, there you go.
But pretty much 1070, 1080, and anything in the future is going to be all ICX all the time.
Yeah.
That's how we do.
No, it's not just temperature. It can actually show voltage as well. And then if you have the voltage and amps, then you figure out the power draw as well from that.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So there is on the Kingpin card, there is a, we call, second time I forgot, the Probit, that's what it is.
Probit.
The Probit connector up here, and then what you get is a small adapter, plugs into there, and then it has all these leads coming off it, and you can connect that to a voltmeter or multimeter.
And that's actually not new. That's been on your motherboards and high-tier graphics cards back to like the 980.
Yeah.
I think even the 780 Ti might have had it, right? The classified.
780 Ti had it. This is the first time on a 10 series, though.
Yeah.
So we didn't have it on 1080, not Ti.
Right. I think part of that, though, is the less power draw, too, that comes from the first Pascal SKU. For the 1080.
Somebody said, will Jay be putting 2 in his build?
Oh, 2 Kingpins? You know what, though? To take a card like this and just leave it with out-of-the-box settings and stick it in a case, I feel like it's extremely underutilized. Yeah. This is the kind of card, like if I started really playing around with LN2, this is the one I would use to learn and do that. I don't feel like it doesn't get anywhere worth its value just plugging it in and leaving it.
Right.
I mean, at the very least, water cooling it.
Yeah, and that's definitely what it was built for, to push the Pascal GPU to its limits. You can't go until it gets the highest clock that it can possibly be.
Now, hydrocopper too, is that going to be an option for this?
Yeah, so we're going to have a hydrocopper version, and that one's pretty cool because this card can be single slot. So on the hydrocopper card, we'll ship it with the single slot bracket, so it'll be a true single slot graphics card, which is pretty cool.
I just want to say I love not zesty salsa as well. How's that?
Yes, he said, I love you, Jay. I'm glad I stayed up. He stayed up 4 hours for you.
Wow. See, I forget. I'm already one of those people that like forgot about the time zone. So I'll get on social media and I'm just all active and I'm like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Like, oh wait,
yeah,
that's
no one's
right.
replying.
Yeah, what the heck? Oh man. Yeah. So this is what I forgot to ask though, is this finger over here.
You found the hidden finger that we
Well, it's not really hidden. It's right in my face, but I'm not used to looking there for it, right?
Yeah.
So there's a third, what looks like an SLI finger here. Can you say what this is?
It's a secret.
Okay. Well,
that is this. So it looks like an SLI finger.
Yeah.
But this will be used to connect to a future device.
Okay. Well, you guys heard it.
You're the first one who's noticed it so far, at least not to us.
There's going to be expandability then, obviously.
Yep.
You guys already talked about the rear-mounted power
the
plugs.
Power plug.
Right.
That, me personally, that's my favorite feature because
I've always hated the fact that they have to make this crazy bend here.
Yeah.
I think for people who make custom cables too, this is going to be easier to
Especially
figure
now,
out.
because in modern today, in 2017, our cases allow for cable management, and they allow for the cables to go behind the motherboard tray. But in the old days,
Yeah.
there was no such thing. So it was, it would be kind of hard to have your cables here. But now, it's 2017. We need to have our connectors here. So,
Yeah.
But of course, in smaller chassis, it could be a potential problem. However, if you're using this card, then you're probably not using a small
Right.
chassis.
Well, obviously, you guys have obsoleted your PCIe adapter on there. What's that called again?
The power link.
The power link. Obviously, that doesn't work on this. But that was the whole point of the power link. It redirected
Right,
it
that's
to the
what
back.
that was the idea of the
Right.
power link, is to essentially do this.
I've seen some folks kind of comment that, not here, but when I mentioned this, that length might be an issue. But the thing is, like, I think most people who'd buy a card like this are gonna have a chassis that would accommodate a card like this.
Yeah.
Even with the additional 2 inches you might add with the length of the cable and the radius bend. So I don't think that's really gonna be
Yeah,
an
I
issue.
mean, a card of this caliber, I think probably was.
It's not really small form factor friendly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it was never designed to be, but it could potentially could be. I mean, it's still dual slot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is it's one of the larger cards that we built.
You just obviously are going to be sacrificing some of the purpose of this card existing when you do that.
Yep. So cool. All right, and this lights up.
Yeah, that's got something really cool in the back. Can I mention what it does?
Sure.
Okay, so it's got its flow RGB. And what that means is, yes, it's RGB lighting and you can control the colors of it, but it actually shows the pathway of the power as it travels through the card. So on the back side here, right, the power delivery is on the rear of the card and the power works its way forward towards the GPU. So as things are happening, you actually see, you'll see the lights travel through the card, showing you kind of the way the power moves through it. So it's purely an aesthetic thing. It doesn't serve any purpose other than to look cool. But you've got to look at your backplate anyway if it's in a standard case. So why not have it at least dance and do something
Might as well
cool?
look cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was really neat. It's almost like a little bit of a electronics lesson on how power travels through a GPU.
Yep. Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on our stream, and hope you enjoy the rest of Taiwan. Get some time to look around.
It's been a shock so far, in a good way. It's been a good shock.
Is it what you expected?
It's everything I expected, to be honest. It is. It's just, I said in my last video I'm really tall in Asia, but I didn't know just how tall I am. Wow, yeah. When I walk into a room, there's a lot of jaws that just kind of go, because I'm not sure that they've ever seen a human quite my size before.
I think Computex will be really, for you who covers purely PC components primarily, like Computex is definitely the show. Like CES is good, but it's like more like there's some computer stuff, but there's like everything, like vacuum cleaners,
Well,
and everything, So.
What's cool here, and if I could just talk a minute about my experience in Taipei, is back home, especially in LA, you think the mall, it's like clothing stores and purse stores and jewelry stores. It's nothing I'm interested in. But the mall here, like the electronic,
IT mall.
the IT mall, it's like 7 stories of nothing but PC and electronics and stuff. And I even found a camera store that sold tripods and Manfrotto stuff and attachments for cameras. And it was just like, had I forgotten something I needed for my rig, I would have been able to get it there.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
That's the cool thing.
we
about
need
Taiwan.
this back in the States. What the heck? And the crazy part is, though, I didn't find that the exchange rate made anything really cheaper here. It really is not.
Yeah, it's
just more available.
Yeah.
Right. And if you leave,
more the same.
and if you leave the IT mall and you go right around the corner, I don't know what that street name was right there, but there's like so many little PC stores.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like, back in the States, PC stores, they don't really carry any inventory. It's always like, oh, we can order it for you. No, you guys want to know where all the 1080 Ti's went? They went there. Like, literally, I swear, it was just as high as you could see, stacks of 1080 Ti's and all. You guys want to know where all those AMD motherboards are? Yeah, they're over there right now. I guarantee it, because it's just, as far as you can see, all these little roll-up shops like downtown LA.
Yeah, like a lot of tiny
It's
little
just
like
PC.
mom and pop shops.
Yes.
Like hundreds of them.
And
a
it's
lot
just,
different than you.
and it's literally busting at the seams with PC parts. Like the picture I posted on Instagram yesterday, where I showed like the stairs that lit up leading to the second story. It's just, you walk up there and it's just stacks and stacks and stacks. And the cool thing is,
hardware heaven.
they do real-time, on-the-spot PC repair too. It's not like you go to Geek Squad, you drop it off, and a week later you pick it up. No, they were fixing there's lines of people standing there with their towers, and they're fixing them and leaving at the same time. It was just like a fast lane of repair. It was the coolest thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
It basically was like...
You should start your own computer store in the United States.
That would probably be a terrible place to start it, honestly. No, I mean, back home, there's just no PC culture, really. But here, obviously in Taipei, this is like ground zero for PC.
Yeah.
I am like in my heaven right now.
Yeah,
really cool.
I mean, I kind of felt the same way when first time I came to Taiwan many years ago, but I was like, wow, this is amazing, to see all this like hardware in one place, in one building. I mean, it was really, really something.
How tall am I? I'm 6'4".
That's pretty tall. It's taller than me.
It's kind of funny. We were crossing the street yesterday, leaving the IT mall where all the PC shops were, and there was this kid walking with his mom. He was probably 11 or so. As we were walking by, he was just like waving at me.
I've never seen anyone that
I didn't know
tall.
if it was because he knew who I was or because I was just like a really tall American.
He probably knew you were.
Maybe.
He's like, I follow you.
Yeah. No, it's really neat here. I really
I'm
like
kind of
Taipei.
curious. I bet you a lot of people like in Taiwan probably follow you. Like you probably have a lot of your followers are probably here in Taiwan.
No, it's true because I got a lot of emails and messages before I came here of people who are local, like welcoming me to their city before I even got here.
Yeah.
Like I was getting welcomed before I was even here, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Jay become an NBA star? Heck no! Just because we're in Taipei doesn't mean their basketball players here aren't tall. There's some tall basketball players. Like we went by we drove by one of the parks where there was like a sports park, and they were playing basketball and baseball and stuff. And yeah, they're not all short here.
Cool. All right, man.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna do now. Probably eat.
I guess.
I don't know.
I'm kind of hungry, so.
And, you eat in China, you're hungry an hour later. Oh, this isn't China. It's Taipei, but it's still Chinese food.
Yeah. Same time zone. I think.
Hungry every hour. Man.
All day long.
All right. Well, hey,
Cool.
thanks for
All
having
right,
me.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
thanks
just
a lot.
kind of scoot on out here, make
All right,
room for a
guys.
real star.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will be right back, I think.